Hey everybody, I'm making this video because I've had a lot of messages come in asking about our experience with the coronavirus, and I think that it could be useful to a lot of people to maybe, just hear a story about what it looks like outside of what we're seeing in the media. I do want to begin just simply by saying thank you for your messages and your phone calls and running of errands for us because we couldn't leave the house. It's all very, very much appreciated. So just want to thank you guys for your kindness. So I'm going to try to keep this under 5 minutes because nobody wants to hear me talk about this for very long, I'm sure. So I'm going to get right to it, and I'm going to try to cover as much as I can. If there's something that you're curious about, pardon me, don't hesitate to ask. I'm an open book. I pretty much tell anything. The good news is my story is pretty uneventful, so hopefully that brings you some, some reassurance. And let me just begin by saying this: I am not medical. I don't have a degree in medicine. I don't have any medical training. This is just about our experience. And what I'm getting ready to tell you is in no way to imply that this will be the experience for everybody, or what that I did for, my bout with the coronavirus will work for somebody else. So I just wanted to get that out there. All right. So many of you knew that I had something back in February. It was the beginning of February. I had a respiratory illness of some kind. Who knows what? There's a zillion out there. But what's interesting, it was before the coronavirus outbreak. What was interesting was those symptoms actually matched it better than this. Go figure. I had a sore throat. I had a fever. I actually took off work, which I almost never do. And I developed a cough that just was relentless. Lost my voice for a little while. Anyway, recovered quickly, no big deal. And again, that was before the coronavirus, pandemic for sure. But I don't even think it was in the United States yet, as far as we knew at that point. So that wasn't even on my radar. So the reason I tell you that is because it does play a part in the next part of my story. So I was, March 21st. was the day my symptoms kicked in. That was a Saturday. So that week leading up, my cough had still been sort of waxing and waning, and again, it had never gone away from when I was sick, so I wasn't concerned about it. It did not, I wasn't thinking coronavirus at all, even though that was starting to show up in the media. So Friday night, totally normal. I unpacked Cole's bags with him and boxes all day long. I wasn't even fatigued. I was totally fine Friday. And the only thing that was a little different was I definitely was coughing more. And Friday night, overnight, as I was sleeping, I coughed a lot through the night. But again, it was like that happened on and off since I had that bug in February. So that was, again, not a red flag. I didn't think anything of it. Get up Saturday morning and had a pretty nasty headache. And I don't usually get headaches. So I was like, okay, what's this about? Still felt pretty well, just a headache. And so it was one of those, right in the front, your eyes hurt. And I was like, this is really odd. I actually thought maybe I had, you guys, this is so pathetic. I was afraid maybe I made decaf coffee. My eyes without these glasses are not so great. And so I was like, God, maybe it's a caffeine headache. I don't know. So I made a new batch of coffee and I drank that, and the headache was still there. But I was like, oh, it's nothing. It's fine. So I, proceeded with my day. Now, at this point, we were already, for the most part, on lockdown, not really interacting with people very much anyway, because everybody was starting the social distancing. So that was, really good news. So anyhow, as the day went on, I started to feel a little bit I don't feel great. And so I took my temperature. This was mid-afternoon, and I had a fever. And if you want to see someone turn white, pull a thermometer out of your mouth with a fever, a cough, a headache, and in the midst of a pandemic, and you kind of just go, and I looked over at my family and I was like, I have a fever. And everyone like stopped in their tracks. So I said, you know, I think I'm gonna call the doctor. And I'm not a doctor person. You guys know I'm not. Oh gosh, this is getting long already. Let me speed it up. I'm giving too many details. I'll try to get to it, the meat of it. Just wanted you guys to sort of know what the ramp up looked like. So called the doctor, and she actually right away said, I'd like to test you. So at that time, she had thought the testing would probably take a couple of days to get a spot. And it did not. They called me. As a matter of fact, I missed the phone call on Sunday morning. So I called the number back when I saw it on my phone, and they said, oh yeah, we tried you a couple times. So Saturday, I talked to my doctor. Sunday, they had me go to a drive-through testing center, and that was an interesting experience all on its own. You don't roll your windows down. You hold your license up to the glass. You have no interaction with anybody. You pull into a parking spot until they pull you forward into like the little testing area. Somebody fully gowned reaches through your window, takes a swab like this long, goes, I don't know, somewhere here. They have to hold it there for 30 seconds. It does hurt. It does burn. They only have to do one side though. So just, you know, that's the test, but it's okay. It sucks, but it's okay. And then you leave, you pull away. Like you have, you know, all these checks to make sure that, you know, the vial and, you know, all that matches your license, you know, so, you know, you get your proper results and, you know, so forth. So anyway, had the test run. Really was not feeling horrible at that point because I was taking Tylenol. So by the way, that's something from the media. I don't know if it's, you know, I know there's not a ton of research behind it, but I was like, all right, well, I'm going to take Tylenol, not Advil, because that's what they're recommending. So by the way, I took Tylenol all the way through. And with my fever down, I didn't feel horrible Sunday. Like I felt crappy, but I was able to move around to drive myself and all that. So just to fast forward a couple days, my results came in Tuesday. Tested Sunday, results Tuesday. In the meantime, headache still, that sucked. Fever, just barely over 101. It never went super high. Really no appetite. You know, I was lethargic, but I could not sleep. And here's the really interesting symptom. My back pain was like nothing I had ever felt from a virus. Like it was the entire back, and it would like just all the way around, like someone had just beat me with a crowbar. And so I thought that was just kind of significant, you know, that was just so different than anything I'd ever felt. Not all over body aches, but just really just that whole back. I couldn't even sleep. I would try to lay down and I couldn't. I'd get right back up. So I didn't actually sleep all that much. So anyway, that lasted pretty much through to about Tuesday. And if you guys, you know me well, you know I have neck issues. Well, I think all of those back spasms then triggered my neck, because then I had a couple days of my way too familiar, you know, trap pain that, you know, just feels like you've got a total muscle cramp in your trap, and, you know, aggravates my neck. But then that passed too, so that was good. I was a little worried. I was like, oh no, I can't go back to that now. So I would say the back pain probably subsided, like ran from like Saturday night to about Tuesday. Then I had that trap pain into my neck, but I think that's just me. My fever started Saturday. I was fever free by Tuesday, which was awesome. My fever came down, never went back up. I did not cough, hardly at all. Go figure. I didn't get a sore throat. I was headache, fever, body aches, and that's pretty much it. I will tell you, I was very, very nervous because I kept hearing about, you know, day 4 or 5 being a big day for a steep drop off, and that you can be doing pretty well and then all of a sudden you decline. Thank God that didn't happen, but I was very nervous. And then I also heard week 2 can be very, it can be like a risky time. You can be doing pretty well week 1 and then you kind of drop off week 2. Again, that didn't happen, but I was nervous. You know, I was like, I was literally counting the days. I'm like, all right, day 2, day 3, day 4. Now, meanwhile, you won't be able to see it on camera. The skin on my hands is like leather. I have never washed my hands so much in my life as I have the last few weeks, which, by the way, you guys, I'm 2.5 weeks in. Saturday, the date have been, so I went from the 21st to the 28th, and then whatever that was, like April 3rd, 4th was my 2-week mark. And so I'm at about 2.5 weeks. So I'm clear. get that out there. I'm clear. But I'm still cleaning like I'm not. So washing like crazy. I am disinfecting every surface that I could possibly get a Clorox wipe on. Just crazy. So the only thing that did happen for me after like my fever went down and I started to feel better. So remember, I started Saturday, fever went away Tuesday, I hit Wednesday, and I lost my taste and smell, and it has not come back. And so that's gonna be 2 weeks tomorrow. Yeah, 2 weeks tomorrow that I don't have any taste. So that kind of stinks. What's interesting is it does come and go a little bit, and I'll be like, yes, it's coming back, and then it goes away again. So that's weird. I don't know how long that'll take. I heard a month. I heard a story from somebody about on and off for 3 years. So obviously not from the coronavirus, but from other things. So other viruses can cause it. It's not unheard of. All right, so let me see what I want to cover that I haven't. So I told you about my symptoms. I did not mention, I did have tightness in my chest, not a lot of coughing. I felt like I needed to do a lot of kind of deep breathing. That might have been psychological. I don't know. Like when you think about breathing and can I get a deep breath, suddenly you want to take a deep breath. However, now that I'm working out again, I definitely can see that I'm winded much more easily than I normally would be. So, you know, I do think there's a little something there, but I'm feeling good. I mean, clearly oxygenating well. I've been talking for 10 minutes and I can breathe. So, what I did do a lot of was a lot of steam treatments, like over the stove. Again, this is not medical advice. This is just things I've heard in my life, so I decided to do them. I put apple cider vinegar in because I heard that can be an antibacterial and an antiviral. I don't know. You know, I also heard heat kills off this virus, so I figured it can't hurt. You know, steam treatment's not going to do any harm, so I did a lot of that. I did a ton of deep breathing, you guys. Again, it can't hurt. So I would just sit there, hold big deep breath, count to 10, and then a forced exhale. And I would do that again and again and again. And I actually sat up a lot, so I wasn't flat on my back, which can also be really bad. You don't want to decrease the ability for your lungs to fully expand and fill like all those little air sacs. So they actually recommend laying on your stomach and do some of those deep breathing exercises. I wasn't really needing to do that because I was upright, but just a little tip, you know, again, non-medical, just what worked for me. I let my animals be with me the whole time. I know that's a big question, you know, people have had. Now, what did we do in the house? I am so sorry. This is way longer than I intended. You can fast forward if you're over listening to the details, or just click stop. But for those of you that want to hear, I'm going to keep going. So, what did we do in the house? So when I found out I was sick, I mean, I'm a mother. I'd have my hands all over everybody, all over their food, all, you know, like leading up to being sick, I mean. So they had been exposed to me and I was not coughing. So what I did was we sort of an open floor plan between our kitchen and our family room. I stayed in the family room. It's open to the kitchen. I just asked that nobody come into that space with me. You know, sort of going off that 6-foot social distancing, you know, guideline that they were offering us, you know, as a way to stay safe. You know, I know things have evolved since then with masks and all, but this was what we had. This is the information we had at the time. So I stayed there and really didn't move much. I just sort of sat there and watched a ton of Netflix and played Words with Friends and whatever. So that's what we did for while I was sick. I need some wood to knock on. So far, the boys have not shown symptoms. Cole may have had a little something when he first was coming home from college. We don't know. Super mild. He had a backache, which again, I had that backache. He was tired, but he had just come home from college. We rode in the car for 4.5 hours. I don't know. Who knows? So I don't know about him. Dayton hasn't shown any symptoms. Again, I'm knocking on wood. They're out of the woods pretty much from my exposure, but my husband, we think, came down with it. They didn't test him because they just said, you know, he's had symptoms. He was in the house with you. So we just assumed positive for COVID-19. So I won't really speak to his story much just because that's his private business. And, you know, I don't really want to get into that, but I will tell you he's doing great. As a matter of fact, he's outside cutting the grass right now. He has been coughing a lot more. So he got sent to the basement. It's nice. Actually, you can see it in the background here. It's nice down here. Nice TV, comfy recliners. Like it's you know, it's got a little table, a little cafe table. But I was concerned with the cough. So I was like, I think you need to be a little bit more isolated than I was. And we had learned more at that point about the transmission of it. So he's almost at his 2-week mark. So we're really close for him. We just have to get the boys outside of their 2 weeks from, you know, exposure to us. So we can breathe easy probably in about another, well, they had very little exposure to him once he developed symptoms, which was almost 2 weeks ago. So I'm feeling pretty confident, but we technically have to sort of guard them for another 2 weeks after he's out, you know, of his quarantine period. Like, it goes on and on. You guys, if it gets in your house, plan on staying there for a long time. Well, the final people who maybe don't have symptoms. If you get sick and then, you know, you go through your 2 weeks, you're good because you're now immune and just carry antibodies. So that's what we did here. All I can tell you is I am probably bleeding Clorox wipe juice, whatever is in those wipes right now. Went through a ton. I'm just gonna tell you a couple things we did around the house real quick. Went through a ton of hand soap. I run the dishwasher twice, so anytime dishes go in there, I run it once and I run it a second time. We're washing all of our clothes on steam cycle. It's like a 2.5 hour cycle in the laundry, but I don't care. Run it. Like, everything's getting sanitized. Even when I was sick, like feeling like crap sick, I got up in the morning before anybody else and I wiped down everything on the, you know, in the kitchen, family room, bathroom, anything that may have been, you know, contaminated by me, even, you know, just, you know, being near it. I was cleaning it. We are lucky to have, it's gonna make it sound like I have some huge house. I don't, but we do have 4 bathrooms. So we were able to like divide up to the bathrooms. My husband and I are in separate rooms right now. So he's sleeping in one place, I'm sleeping in another, and obviously the boys have their own rooms. So we did that separation. The dogs were all over me, so I asked nobody else to really handle the dogs. I have little cleaning stations set up in really convenient spots with Clorox and Purell. I literally taped a bottle of Purell right by the door. We use our garage to enter our house a lot, so that it's duct taped there so people can just clean their hands, as you know, at every entrance to the home, every time they enter the home is what I'm trying to say. Oh, little thing, wipe down your phones a lot. Your glasses, you guys, people don't think about this, but think of how often you're here, you're adjusting. Wash your glasses with alcohol. I'm lucky to have alcohol on hand, and so clean those. The remote controls, clean the remotes. What are some of the other little things? New toothbrushes, you know, I'm not using my Sonicare right now. I just dug out like one that the dentist gave us and am using that. Everybody has their own tube of toothpaste. Let's see, any other tips? Other than just wiping down every possible thing I can and hoping that it's killing the germs. It's just a matter of good hygiene. You know, I use you know, we only have like, there's only 3 showers, although we have 4 bathrooms, so there's only 3 showers. So, you know, 2 of us are in one. And so like I have my own little container, like my own soap, my own shampoo. Like, we did not cross anything. Will it make a difference in the end? I sure hope. I hope my boys come through without contracting this or being asymptomatic or whatever. Justin got it, you know, as far as we know. So hopefully that means he'll have immunity. Hopefully I'll have immunity, and hopefully that'll be the silver lining here. I did go out to the store for the first time yesterday. I knew I was well clear. I still wore a mask, you guys. Like, just err on the side of caution for yourself and for everybody else. And I know for now they're telling us that, you know, 2 weeks does it, you know, that we're good and we're clear, or that, you know, the masks are to protect other people, or that I can't catch it again. I don't know that that's not going to change in a month. So I'm just going to continue to be really cautious and stay home and not have anybody here. And if I go out, I'm, you know, going to wear that mask until they tell us otherwise. And, you know, just assume that I could get it again, or that I could bring it home to somebody. So, I'm sorry this was so long. I do apologize for that. Well, if you can't sleep at night, just watch my video. That's all I got, you guys. I am feeling great. I'll just end with that. I'm feeling really good. So I count my blessings. Let me just finish with focus on your health every day, because I do believe it can really make a difference when you're faced with something that your body needs to fight. And that's not to say that something can't still take you down. And what I just want to finish with is we're very blessed. We're blessed it was mild here, and that's not the case for everybody. Respect this virus, be careful, but know that there are some stories of people getting sick and getting better. All right. Thank you for watching. And again, any questions, send them my way. I hope I covered everything that I'd been wanting to share with you. I'm hoping to get my smell and taste back. That would be nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. You guys stay well. Thanks for listening. Bye.